think the main problem is the EU are still wedded to their Schengen area dream. That is going to be ripped to pieces. Since 1995, there have been no passport checks required for roughly about 450 million people across 29 countries. Now, that is all great in theory, but what happens when you get crises like these? Those borders are going to be tested, and there is absolutely no way, unless you physically shut down that zone and implement border controls, what else are the EU going to do? So I think that there's going to be a lot of talk at the moment about suspending Spain from the Schengen zone agreement, and I think other countries are going to look at how their borders are going to be managed going forward, because this invasion of people across countries and across continents is going to continue. This has now created a perception that illegal entry into the European Union is possible and there would be no consequences. You do have to wonder whether this was like the initial attempt and other borders are now going to be overwhelmed in a similar manner. People are going to be emboldened by thinking that it's easy to do. If you're going in a large number, no one's going to stop you. And what are they going to do? I mean, that's what we haven't heard. The EU say this is an emergency situation, but they're not meeting until Tuesday. So that is literally half a week since this happened, and they've done absolutely nothing.
So Operation Fortress will be a combined military operation. It will save lives. It will help the French in fulfilling their job of stopping the boats, and it will save a huge amount of money. We are very confident that our policy of securely picking people up and safely taking them back to France, we are entirely confident that that falls within other conventions of international law, and you'll see that argued clearly in this document. If the Royal Navy is not there to protect this country from invasion, then frankly, I can't see what its purpose is.
We always want to use our military for everything. Now, the UK has the best military force, I think, in the world, but they are stretched beyond all recognition. We don't fund them enough. We don't have enough personnel. Certainly the Royal Navy don't have enough vessels to be able to launch a 24-hour shift in the Channel. We don't have the crews to be able to do it. And also, we have the problem of French territorial waters. So are we going to be sending a warship into French territorial waters without their permission? Because I don't think that would go down all that well at the moment. So I think that we have to look at what we can do with the military, but I think Europe in itself needs to look at what their borders are, how porous they are, and what countries they're going to need to work with in order to sort this.
Je suis un député dans le Parlement du Royaume-Uni. Why have you allowed the migrants into the water? Why haven't you stopped them?
Pourquoi on les stoppe pas? Pourquoi on les stoppe pas? Our order is to let them go like that.
Your order is to let them go?
We just have to say to them, don't do that, it's dangerous.
So your orders are not to intervene?
We have to protect them.
There's also protecting the border as well.
This is an ongoing problem with the French. I spent a very cold January early hours of the morning standing on the beach in Calais, looking across to the bright lights of Dover. And it isn't very far, and you can understand why people take that journey. The French police seem to say that the coastline is too long, which it is, and it's very difficult to police. But the UK government has given over a large amount of money in order for them to make the resources available to stop these crossings. I don't think they're particularly interested in doing it. Why would they want to keep the people in France and they would have to deal with them? I think they're more than happy to wave them across to the United Kingdom, and then they become our problem. We have the ridiculous situation of French police officers not being able to go into the water anything over about sort of ankle depth because it may be dangerous to them. Well, they're police officers and they're quite highly trained. I'm sure that they can manage to paddle in something up to at least knee height to stop these boats from going. So I don't think they're working hard enough. I think that the money we send them needs to be rethought and perhaps even a rebate.
We're just going to be relentless. People want to see this issue addressed. I heard that on the doorsteps in Makerfield. But we also need to build a system that offers safe routes for people as well, because that also takes away the selling point of the gangs. So on every level, we've got to come at this, but crucially, increasing the enforcement activity.
Well, stop talking about it and start actually doing it. I mean, we saw him standing on the White Cliffs of Dover in his shirt and tie, sounding very prime ministerial, but those were just words. He said he's going to be relentless. Well, relentless in what? We haven't actually understood what his policies are. He's talking about safe routes and introducing those. Well, that's only going to make the problem worse because it becomes much more complicated to administer. So I think that unless there are some serious results and we see fewer people coming across the channel, no one's going to believe a word he says. Comms team is so much better. My son, who is very nearly 18, came down to me brandishing his phone saying, "Is this the Prime Minister?" Because he'd seen something on a social media channel that Andy Burnham had put out. So he's having cut through with younger generations. He is much more normal in front of the camera. He's got much more personality. But at the end of the day, people are going to get very bored with that unless there's action that backs it up. You can have all the personality you like. Boris Johnson had tons. But unless you do a really good job, people are still going to say, sorry, these are just words.
He said I should go. He just said I should go back to my country. Yeah.
What?
He said, you in charge?
What is that?
Who's in charge?
You who?
No,
Who are you?
Who am I?
Where?
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
You tell me who you are first.
Why you tell why you tell?
Because you're about to illegally enter my country.
What's my country? Here is the country?
No, United Kingdom.
United Kingdom. Where you making here?
Where you're about to go there, aren't you?
Why you making here? Where you making? It's not your country.
Because I'm.
Go back. Yeah.
Is that really?
Yeah. What's it?
So where are you going? Where are you going?
United Kingdom.
Where are you going?
To be fair to Kemi Badenoch, I think it's one of those issues where you can't take on reform because this is one of their main policy areas. The Conservative Party doesn't have the greatest history when it comes to immigration, but it was Chris Field going out into the Channel that has really highlighted what's going on the beaches of France. So I think that she's actually playing quite a clever game. By thinking about what you're going to do, rather than putting half-baked policy ideas forward, she's going to put something together that's actually quite possible and practical and might work in the long run.